So I have to start this with a bit of a callback. So back when Dan and I used to play way more on our other channel, Fugitive Games, we were going through Outer Wilds, and after a certain point in Outer Wilds, I kept wanting to say out loud, "Wow, this is a lot like the Inner Light."
I see.
But I didn't, because you hadn't seen it yet, I think.
Right, and we were already podcasting by that time.
Yes, I was like, "Oh, this is." I feel like they were inspired by this to some capacity.
I guess to some extent, only that in Outer Wilds' case, and minor spoilers for Outer Wilds
Very minor,
if you haven't played Outer Wilds, go freaking play Outer Wilds. If you are a fan of Star Trek, you owe it to yourself. I really mean this, guys.
He's serious.
It might still actually be maybe one of the best games of the last 2 decades.
Easily.
It's really good.
Oh, so do you think that they were inspired by this?
I feel like there was a partial inspiration. I do remember watching interviews where they did say Star Trek is a big influence on Outer Wilds.
I mean, it would make sense. Star Trek is good sci-fi.
It is very different overall in construction and what the game is about and what the themes are. But the core mechanic is actually a more complex version of what happened in the Inner Light.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. In that sense, I get what you mean.
Yeah. So I kept being like, this is like the Inner Light, but they made a video game out of it. That's sick.
It's also like or this other properties is like this episode. Inception. It's like Inception.
Oh, in the
it's
sense
exactly like Inception.
In the
Actually,
sense,
that you could live a lifetime and then go back to your really your point of
and it's almost
it's definitely a trope that's been treaded a bunch of times. Adventure Time's done it, Rick and Morty's done it. Even Justice League Unlimited did it, or rather, the story that I was most reminded of when watching this episode was For the Man Who Has Everything, which was a story that originally printed in the comics in 1985, predating this episode, where Superman is gifted a parasitic flower that gives him an idyllic life. Back on Krypton.
That one, yes. The one where there's it feeds him this fantasy of hey, you have a wife, you have kids, you're living the life you never had on Krypton. Yes, that is that episode's Inner Light. That series is Inner Light, almost exactly.
Yeah, for sure. And in the Justice League Unlimited adaptation, they tweaked it a bit so that even in the fake life that Clark was living,
the Inception,
he was constantly noticing that the planet was dying. There was seismic activity, and he was noticing, Krypton's about to fucking blow. And he was the only one who was saying anything about it.
Yep. Man, that's a big running theme in these flashback, these send memories to the future stories, or living a whole life stories. I guess it keeps happening where the world is gonna end.
Yeah, and everyone comes back at the end, and they really should be pretty fucked up. They should be super fucked up after it.
Well, what's his name in Inception comes back, and he lived an eternity because he was an old man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like a trauma.
Filled with regret.
Yeah,
filled with regret. And he's he came back and he's like, I just want to fuck. I imagine that's what he said. But also, so they incepted
Cillian
Jean-Luc
Murphy.
Picard.
Oh, okay.
And then Jean-Luc Picard incepted that lady twice, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, multiple times.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, wow.
There's so much to say about this episode. Lot to say.
Did you guys? You know what was crazy, and we keep saying this over and over. Look, I get it. They have a limited budget, but the makeup looks fucking shitty as crap, dude.
As usual,
it's the return of their monsters.
Their old person makeup is just not.
Yeah,
good.
it's pretty over the top.
But here's the thing: it was nominated for an Emmy.
No way.
This episode specifically.
An Emmy in what? Makeup?
Nominated. Just nominated. Didn't win.
Nominated in the makeup, for makeup?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
No
okay.
way.
So I think part of it is that maybe the makeup effects don't look so monsterish when you're watching in broadcast standard definition.
Yeah. Maybe.
Fair enough. Yes, that is true. There is an element of that for sure.
Yeah, I think
it
when
kind
you
of
see
blurs it a little bit. Yeah, it makes it a little
they're just blurry old people versus this is clearly putty put on his nose.
Yeah. Okay. And to the art department or the makeup department's credit, they had to age up like all of the townspeople in across like several eras, and they had to come up with unique looks each time. So like they did work.
Yeah. This is a difficult shoot. They had to wrangle a lot of different versions of actors.
And also maybe some of it too is the intense direct sunlight. Maybe it makes you extra leathery.
It causes some slight monsterism.
It makes you look like fucking makes you look like fucking Frankenstein. Yeah. Did you guys notice that? Well, it did give away to the shitty makeup is so the lady's dying, right? Spoiler: we're Tarantino.
Oh yeah, we're all over the place.
The lady Elaine is fucking dying at the end.
Yeah,
and she touches. Oh fuck, dude! This cat fucking gave me a fucking dick, dude. No way, dude. No, she like swatted right at my dick. So this lady's dying, and she touches Picard's face, and her hand, young 30-something.
Yeah. It's a common thing in makeup to forget to do the hands. Because it's just
I did notice that as well when they were having their touching moment, and her hand comes up, and it's just.
By the way, just wanted to quickly bring up. So he has a son, Bataille, right?
That's Picard's son in real life.
Yeah, that is Patrick Stewart's actual son.
Wait, what?
Who played?
Is his son named Bataille?
His name is Daniel.
His son's name is Daniel. I didn't know that until this episode. I was
I thought his son's name was Bataille. That would have been really crazy.
That would have been really funny.
His son's name is Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah, he would go on to become the world's
so the actor that's
shoe cobbler.
That's Sir Patrick Stewart Mini.
Yes, although he's gigantic. Yeah, he's a very tall man.
Oh my gosh! You know what's so funny that you say that, because the minute that Bataille, the character, comes on the screen, I literally said to myself in my head, "This actor looks nothing like." It would be Patrick Stewart's son. I literally said that to myself. I'm like, they did a really bad job finding an actor that would be related
that
to
makeup job does
Patrick
not.
And now I feel really dumb because apparently I was so wrong. I was so wrong. No, like I literally had this thought in my head. I was like, this actor looks nothing like he would be.
I think it's the makeup job. I think it really obscures a lot of
another thing too is I think Patrick Stewart, when he looked younger, looked a little more like his son.
That's what I mean. Yeah. I think the makeup job obscures his natural features.
Well, not just the makeup job. I mean, like when Patrick Stewart himself was literally younger, like he looked more like.
Oh yeah, yes.
Or maybe he takes after his mom more.
You know the first thing I thought when I heard Bataille's name, I'm like Bataille, and then all I thought about was like, man, I could go for some fucking Bataille. Yeah, dude. You know,
he sounds like a delicious noodle.
Yeah, it does sound like a dish of some kind.
Well, speaking of going back in time, this episode first aired on June 1st of 1992. Dan, let's do our own bit of time travel. Going
time
around the
after
sun
time
as we see what happens back in June 1st of 1992.
All right. So first off, in my research, a headline came up that finally gave some context to a surname I used to hear a lot in the early to mid 90s, which was Buttafuoco.
Oh, yes.
David Letterman loved to say it a lot, for instance. So the reason why that name was so memorable in my head is because there was a man named Joey Buttafuoco in New York. He was married to Mary Jo Buttafuoco, but Joey was having an affair with a 17-year-old named Amy Fisher. And on May 19th, Amy Fisher confronted Mrs. Buttafuoco, which escalated to Amy shooting Mrs. Buttafuoco in the face. But amazingly, no one died. However, it was a unique enough incident to be a sensation in the news and tabloids, and Amy Fisher was eventually portrayed by both Drew Barrymore and Alyssa Milano on two competing TV movies airing on the same night on January 3rd, 93.
I remembered this. That fact I remembered randomly, yes. For some reason.
Wild.
Yeah.
The dueling Buttafuocos.
Isn't it crazy how like things like this happen? And like they make a TV movie out about it, and like some of them, like
it wasn't even a year old.
I know.
Well, now instead of making a TV movie, they would make a Netflix doc. Real quickly.
Well, Marvin, they made a movie. Remember they made the movie about the shitting fucking astronaut with Natalie Portman, and they never showed her shitting.
What?
Oh my god!
What are you talking about?
I feel like I'm having deja vu. Okay, this astronaut was having an affair or something.
Oh, and
she drove miles and she shat in a diaper.
Yes, she wore diapers so that she didn't have to stop. Right.
And Natalie Portman made a movie about her, and they skipped the fucking shitting in the fucking diaper.
Well, because they didn't want Natalie Portman shitting in a diaper.
Some people would really like Natalie Portman shitting in a diaper.
Look, okay,
Some
we can't appeal to everyone's fetish here, okay?
God damn it! I can't believe you guys haven't heard of the.
I never heard of this story.
I do know the real life story of the shitting in the diaper. Yeah, the driving, wearing the diaper to get there faster.
I did not know about
the guy who did Fargo, the TV series, wrote and directed the movie.
Oh, okay. None of this is connecting for me. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty clueless on this as well.
Wow, really? That was pretty big news.
I've never heard of this story actually.
Wow.
No. Well.
All right, moving on. The movies that released in the meantime, because it was 2 weeks since the last episode's airing. We had Alien 3, Encino Man with Paul Lee Shore, Far and Away with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, and finally Sister Act, starring none other than Whoopi Goldberg herself, Whoopi Goldberg.
I like Sister Act. I'm not gonna lie. I
think I've seen Sister Act 2 more, and Lauryn Hill.
I have seen Sister Act 2 more because it's the one that just aired on TV.
Yeah, they would just air it on Fox all the time.
Yeah. And I'd be like, what was the first Sister Act like? And eventually they showed that as well. And I was like, oh, I actually like 2 better.
Okay, well there you go.
Because I like the idea of they need to turn a school around by making everyone join a church choir.
Yeah, it's a great story.
It's like Stand and Deliver. It's the same thing. Yeah.
Kind of, sort of. It's also kind of like Breaking 2.
Yeah.
Wait, so you said Alien 3, and what was the other one?
Encino Man. And Far and Away.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Far and Away? Okay, guys, that's crazy because I had a dream last night about Far and Away, watching Far and Away. I'm not even kidding.
That's very specific.
I've never seen it.
Did it have the Irish accents and everything?
Yeah, no, it was like my sisters and I were watching the movie Far and Away on TV. And I literally...
do you have 2 sisters?
I do have 2 sisters, yeah.
I thought you only had 1 sister. Never mind.
I have 2
One triplet sister.
I have more siblings outside. I have a lot of siblings. I have 2 sisters and 2 brothers. So I literally had that dream last night. That's so crazy. Like, did I know that we were going to talk about Far and Away mentally? I really liked Far and Away. Have you guys seen that movie? It's really good.
This is the first time I've heard of it.
It's really good.
The Irish accents in the trailer made me always stay away from it.
Because you hate the Irish.
I hear that in Ireland, it's looked at as a piece of comedy for the accent.
Probably, probably. Yeah. But it's weird that I had that dream last night. I don't know.
Kind of like
it's kind of crazy.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Whenever it's shown in China, everyone's like, "What the fuck? What is everyone?"
Oh yeah, it kind of would be kind of like that, huh?
Yeah, because it's like she's Singaporean, but he's Cantonese, and she's Mandarin. What the fuck? And then
is that Ang Lee?
It's Ang Lee, yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and he specifically said, "I'm not making this for Chinese audiences. This is for American audiences," which is why he did not give a fuck. He knew an American audience would not care.
I wonder if there's an American movie equivalent where we see it and we're like, "That's not how Americans are at all."
Almost every like Bollywood portrayal of America.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
There was an article. This article that my wife showed me. I want to say a few years ago, and it was about this dude who kind of was having a hard time like booking roles here in the US. And then I think his wife I'm butchering the story, but like either his wife had business in India or she was from India. And so he moved over there, and then they hired him as a bad guy, the American bad guy.
Oh,
and he became immediately popular.
He's probably
and then he's now like a millionaire because he does all the movies over there where he plays a bad guy.
Yeah. Nice. 100%. That's the way to go. Yeah.
It's
like, for that guy.
It's like, I forget. You remember the guy? He's in Rapid Fire, the Brandon Lee movie. There's a guy who he fights in that movie that's in every 80s action movie. It's like the Asian bad guy that's in every fucking movie.
Oh.
He has longer hair, but he's kind of balding on top. And he's in he's even in like Beverly Hills Ninja, dude. He's like in every fucking movie, dude.
Is this the Brandon Lee Rapid Fire?
Yeah.
So the Brandon Lee Rapid Fire.
He's in this guy he's like the best working actor in ever. You see him in everything. But we have that in every fucking culture, right? Like
yeah. I mean, even North Korea, when they captured some American soldiers, they made them act in movies as bad guys. So
that's actually a very interesting use of time.
It's this guy. I'm putting his IMDb.
That's but that's
Do I
like
recognize this?
Kim Jong-il's like huge thing is he fucking wanted to be a movie director so bad.
Really?
He there's a fascinating story of he initially captured a famous South Korean screen actress and used her to lure her famous film director husband to look for her. And was captured. And then now that he had both the director and his wife, the actor, he said, now you make films for me. And so he made them make a bunch of movies for him, a lot of which he considered like they were like, well, we're captured. We might as well legitimately try to make movies while we're here. So apparently like they were pretty okay. And the last one they made was a Godzilla ripoff called Pulgasari. And that is like a weird Godzilla that needs to eat the villagers' metal to fight like the invading army. And it's very strange. And then eventually they escaped, but South Korea didn't.
Wouldn't that just be an allegory for give up all your metal so we can fight the enemy?
Oh, but they twisted it because one, the enemy is actually the government. So they managed to sneak that in somehow.
This guy's in everything. Sorry.
And the other is that they even after the enemy's defeated, Pulgasari keeps eating metal. So they're like, please stop eating metal. You are destroying us. And they have to kill Pulgasari.
And so they have to give up Metallica.
Yeah, exactly. Their last movie, they hid in a metaphor for the North Korean people to be like, so eventually you guys should like,
Wait, you say it's their last movie and the last movie had that message in it. Does that mean the message was caught and something happened to them?
No, it coincided with the next time they were like location scouting in quotes for a movie. They ran to the US Embassy and escaped.
Nice.
And then
we need to go location scouting at the U.S. Embassy, boss.
Yeah.
They apparently also ran away with $1 million
for authenticity for the enemy.
He's like, but you know what? We need. Can you put $1 million in a bag? We want to see how it would look like in the location. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We put it, and we got it. We're authentic. We need to film with the real money, and I'll put $1 million in a bag and let us walk out of here, dude.
And unfortunately, the South Korean government did not believe that they were captured for a long time, so they like had them under high surveillance, and they were like, "Are you guys defectors?" And they were like, "No, this was a miserable time."
Well, just for the record, everyone, that none of that happened on June 1st, 1992.
No.
Wait, going back to this actor, this.
Okay, yeah, let's just say his name. Al Leong, just so people at home actually have a name to search.
I think the thing I remember him the most is he is Genghis Khan in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Yes.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, that's a good role.
He was in Deadwood, apparently.
Oh, okay.
As the laundry man.
I'm looking at his film. He's in the Scorpion King.
Yeah, and there's a video of him showing The Rock like how to like fight.
How to do the rock bottom. Yeah,
he taught The Rock the rock bottom. Movie, I'm telling you.
He's in a thing called
he was in Daredevil.
Awesome Asian Bad Guys.
Oh,
and they never ask him to shave.
No. Yeah.
This guy is
actually it's part of his writer. It's part of his contract writer. He has to keep.
I only take his mustache off for one thing, dude. He's like, and it doesn't look like I'm fucking you, dude.
All right, one last thing, and then we're done with Around the Sun.
Oh, okay.
On May 22nd, the final appearance of Johnny Carson as host of The Tonight Show before it became Joe Chin's.
Oh, who's Joe Chin?
The antagonist from Parappa the Rapper. Oh. But he had a huge chin.
Well, thank you, Dan. Thank you for letting us know Around the Sun. But
all right, Star Trek is forthcoming later.
Well, first ExpressVPN. Well, listen, ExpressVPN. You know all about how it works.
Marvin, I'm tired, dude. I'm tired of listening to podcasts, and then people are like, "Oh, fucking Casper fucking beds," and no, none of those fuckers have Casper beds, dude.
No,
but we could say
I don't think anyone even does Casper anymore.
No, dude, they're all dead.
Casper went out of business.
Casper the Ghost.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Casper the Ghost.
Pre this fucking sponsor, we had ExpressVPN. True or false?
That's true. It's absolutely true.
I'm just saying.
I mean,
dude.
So did I. So did
We're
Dan.
living La Vida Loca, like
by proxy, so did Sarah. So we all,
we loved it.
Yeah, You know why? It's because it's not only super fast, like it sounds in the name, but it's also very, very secure. There's been governments that have tried to
We've had turkeys try to invade our house. And
yeah,
not here.
It's like a little shield went up.
No identifiable information.
Away.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's very convenient. It works on pretty much every device you can think of. In fact, Ricardo has informed us that it appears to finally be on Apple TV.
Appears to be. This isn't allegedly. This is a fucking fact, Marvin. It's on Apple.
Took you long
TV.
Enough, Apple.
Yeah, come on. But you know what? It's the best though. It's the best there is. If Android had a box that you could stream stuff on, it would be shit compared to the Apple TV, dude. Apple TV is the fillet of the neighborhood. I'm
so sick of the Android TVs. We've had so many issues this weekend with our fucking Android TVs.
To be fair, that's not an Android TV issue. That's a Hisense.
I was like, why do we have an Android TV? Why don't we have an Apple TV?
It wasn't the Android TV. It was the Hisense TV and the way their programming handles.
To be fair, I also have.
I still don't approve of this bit.
I have a Google TV, but I run everything to my Apple TV because it's the best. ExpressVPN works the best on Apple products. I mean, I'm just saying it's proven. The Turkish government proved it.
If you wanted to compare across products, it's fine because you could use it on up to 8 products at once, 8 devices at a time. It's crazy. Also, built-in ad blocker, built-in password manager called Keys.
Oh, password managing is so useful.
Here's the thing. I don't want to shame anybody, dude. But I've seen, if you go into different parts of Twitter, there's dudes that have like 8 windows of porn going on, dude.
Yeah.
On different, not windows. I apologize. 8 different devices.
Yeah.
And this will guard you against your goddamn service provider or your mom upstairs on whatever basement you live in that she won't know what you're visiting. She could look at the logs and go, he's been just logging into Turkey for some reason. He loves Turkey. But I will say this as a public service announcement with ExpressVPN. It's not hiding everything you're doing. So guys, if you're looking up some crazy shit, know that it's not like just wiping. It's not like the thing in fucking The Dark Knight Rises where it just something just wipes up everything. No. It's just
any VPN is a part of a just general good internet security practice.
Yes.
So like use a VPN, but you're also mindful what sites you're going to.
Yeah.
Don't do anything. Don't do anything freaky.
Don't do dumb. No, look, freaky's okay if it's
illegal.
Consensual.
All right, illegal.
Yeah, illegal.
You
dude.
just
consensual and illegal.
Practice safe interneting.
Yeah.
ExpressVPN is essentially it's the condom, right? Like you can still fuck up if you're an idiot.
Oh yeah,
but the
you
condom
can experiment.
Will help you.
You can see what's out there.
So
Marvin, you don't want to say fuck up. You want to say experimenting. You could experiment with any orifice, dude.
Yeah.
Just remember that even while wrapped up, you can still stick your dick in crazy.
It's true.
Dan,
it's true.
You were a poet, dude.
Dan, that was a really good piece of advice.
If you want to use ExpressVPN to stick it in some crazy, head on over to expressvpn.com/newbie Star Trek. And if you sign up for 12 months, they'll give you 3 months for free. I didn't say that last time for some reason. The reason was,
damn it, Marvin, you were missing out on this deal.
I had a cold. I didn't remember anything.
That's not an excuse, dude.
And then we lost thousands of dollars. Thank you, dude.
How could you?
People lost thousands of dollars in savings.
Yeah.
Accumulated together. Like if you blind them up.
Hopefully we can make up for it.
There are people slapping their foreheads right now. Why didn't I do it last week?
Yeah.
And also,
Marvin, what are you doing?
If you're not sure about being safe, 30-day money back guarantee. You can try it out for 30 days. If you don't like it, just send it back. Send that VPN back to the VPN people. So again, that's expressvpn.com/newbie Star Trek. And if you sign up for 12 months, they'll give you 3 months for free.
I'm going to say allegedly. I got to say allegedly here, dude. Allegedly, someone like me likes to watch every game on Sunday for NFL.
Oh, you're like Scott, where you have multiple TVs running. And you just
I like to watch a lot of games, right? And now I don't want to pay. I don't want to shell out a bunch of money, dude. But I also don't want to watch illegally because you get the lag. So I have a beautiful friend. He has a beautiful voice. He lives out on the East Coast and he's got a lot of disposable income and he's got YouTube TV. Now, I give him my VPN login. We both log into the same VPN. It's like when we're almost kind of in the same household.
Oh.
So now I can use his YouTube TV login. Boom. Bob's your uncle.
Oh, that's smart, actually.
Yeah. Bob is your uncle.
Yeah. Huh.
If your uncle was named Bob.
Yeah.
It's true.
So I'm just saying there's always and also these companies are fucking us, dude. You don't think YouTube and Google are just mining
I do personally think that the geo-locking of content is really old and anachronistic and a bullshit practice. And I feel like it really should be
also
done away with.
How much money are they making on my information, dude? I should get something out of it.
Yeah.
That's another thing ExpressVPN does do. If you are being tracked for your information, ExpressVPN does cut down on quite a bit of it, especially if you also turn that ad blocker on. It does cut down on your personal identity tracking quite a bit, even if you're just doing regular browsing with it on. So, all right, but there's also Extra. They haven't sent us their new upcoming product yet. So
because it's the dick skin wallet, dude.
It could be. We don't quite know what it is yet, but we do know.
Time
we do know that at the moment,
still hoping
they offer excellent wallets made out of high quality materials. Not quite dick skin yet, but hey,
from your mouth to God's foreskin, dude.
If you're in the market for a solid gold wallet, they got you covered. Or if you just want a practical,
I kind of really want the solid gold wallet,
aluminum or leather wallet.
I'm not gonna lie. I want that fucking gold wallet, dude. I used to jokingly say I wanted it.
Ever since they started sending us stuff, I kind of want to like ask in the next round to be like, so you kind of giving us one of everything at this point. Might as well,
dude,
give us that gold wallet this time.
The messy wallet. Let's try the messy. What about the messy wallet, dude?
Well, that was limited edition. They don't make those anymore.
Maybe they can dig one up for us.
Messi is limited edition.
Yeah, dude.
He's everywhere now. He's got like a chicken sandwich.
Yeah, we saw him in an ad for a chicken sandwich at the Hard Rock Cafe.
He was wearing the chef outfit and everything.
Yeah, really? he makes the sandwiches at the Hard Rock for us.
Yeah, he wasn't just wearing his jersey like he always does. He actually was wearing a chef's outfit.
I don't know. The amount of brand deals that guy has must be astronomical at this point.
Anyway. He's in a mess of money.
Yeah.
But hey, if you have a lot of money,
that's the real point of winning the World Cup is getting all these brand deals.
That's not even wrong.
I don't think he won the World Cup.
Was it World Cup? I don't know.
Yeah,
I
don't think he won it. I don't think he won it.
Yeah, he did.
Did he not?
I don't know.
Did they not win?
He literally won the World Cup.
Yeah.
Not him himself. I mean,
the team.
The country. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, no.
But like, it's like saying Jordan won the championship. Like his team did, but Jordan also won.
He's the most popular player.
Marvin, it's not a team of one, dude. Jordan's not.
With the Bulls, it kind of was actually. With the Bulls, everyone else was almost useless without him. So,
Dennis Rodman, you don't think he was doing some rebounding, dude?
Listen, rebounds are great.
Cool,
but he's not that cool. He loves North Korea. So.
Yeah. Never mind. I forgot about that aspect. They love him there, though. They love him there.
They do. Yeah. Kim Jong-un loves him there.
They think he's great.
It's not they. It's just Kim Jong-un.
I don't know.
The rest of the country hates him.
They're like, Dennis Rodman again? Gosh.
But
lots of North Korea talk this episode.
It's true.
Yeah, it is, dude.
But if we have a lot, if
we're gonna get attacked by them, dude.
If you want to make sure North Korea doesn't grab your RFID chip off of your card, you can just put it in one of these extra wallets. They're RFID blocking. It's pretty good. Also, their classic quick card access button. That's really their defining feature, and a lot of other stuff. Free shipping on any order of $50 or more. Free returns within 100 days of receiving your order. A 12-month warranty at least on all products, and a free gift with any order above $90. Also, we have a new revelation has come up. We did get a new vanity link. However, it's kind of weird. So it's partner.extra.com / all capital letters newbie.
Oh boy.
If you don't do all capital letters, it doesn't work.
So it's case sensitive.
What's even
case
the
sensitive
point, man?
Yeah.
It's really
annoying.
Try.
It's actually kind of annoying. My recommendation also is to not use it. It makes me not want
to buy Asker Wallet, dude.
Well, I don't think you even need to do it because I tested it out. I went to the link.
They're nice people, dude. Professionally, we're done, dude.
That's our only relationship with them.
Good for you.
That's our only relationship with them. It's professionally. But that link just takes you to a page where it says type in your promo code, which you're gonna do on checkout anyway. So just go to extra.com.
Maybe don't go, dude. This is a fucking hassle.
Just go to regular extra.com and use offer code newbie. And that's not case sensitive. I checked, so that's fine. And just check out, and you're fine.
I'm having second thought.
Get up to an additional 25% off any order site wide. This offer stacks with ongoing sales, so you can get up to sometimes 50% off, which is crazy. So again, just go to extra.com, use offer code newbie, or if you want to, add extra steps to your workflow for no reason, go to partner.extra.com.
Yeah, don't do that, guys.
All caps
don't
newbie.
Do that.
Then type in the offer code newbie into the form it gives you.
I'm going to send back my wallet, dude. And be like, dude, give us a better vanity link, or take back your fucking wallets.
So yeah, dude, just do that. Goodbye, everyone. All right.
Sarah, send him back your backpack. Send it back.
It's already in the mail.
Help us,
I've already
Denise.
returned it.
Denise, help us.
Ricardo, could you please tell us what happened in this episode?
Jean-Luc Picard gets incepted. God damn it, dude.
It's always him, huh?
Yeah, he's always getting the gooch beat out of him.
Mm-hmm.
We got a bit Narnia'd too.
Yeah,
he's in Narnia. Oh, I didn't know that.
At the end of the line, Witch the Wardrobe, you know how all the kids came back, they're all grown up in their Narnia lives. When they come out the wardrobe, they're kids again. It's like, whoa, what the fuck?
Oh, you mean like that?
Is that what happened?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought you meant that he was in Narnia, Patrick Stewart.
No,
I was like, wow, which character was he?
That would be fucked, dude, if you lived the whole lifetime and you had life experience, Well, no, that's kind of like when you say oh, if I could do it all over again. But you kind of can. You know what I mean?
I mean, in Patrick Stewart's case, he got to live 2 full lives, essentially.
Well, in Patrick Stewart's case, he's lived so many different lives. He's mind melded with Sarek. He's mind melded with Spock. He's been part of the hive mind with the Borg.
Oh my god, yeah, dude, this guy
should write a book.
He's got way too many personalities going on inside of him. He's been mind controlled at least twice.
Yeah, at least
he did that stuff with the Lasavarian girl from the Indiana Jones planet. Remember?
Oh, the Vosh.
Yeah, dude.
Vosh the Stampede.
That was worth it, dude.
This life as a settler of Catan is nothing.
So I was waiting for someone to make the joke because I didn't want to do
it. so again, they're always probing things, dude. They're always getting probed.
Lots of probes.
Yeah. So this light beam.
But this time they're getting probed back.
Yeah. So they're probing this thing, and this is like a flying dreidel kind of thing, and it kind of like a
do they just come upon it in space randomly? They're like, what is this little thing?
It literally just showed up. Yes,
they come upon it. Dude.
Come upon it.
So they beam. They mind meld with Picard, and Picard's like, "Oh, my heart."
They leave him on the floor the whole
and
episode.
He falls, yeah, they never put him in sickbay. They don't give him here.
They don't even give him a
bother
pillow.
Moving him. Nothing.
No, nothing.
Well, it makes sense because look, if they move him to the infirmary, Beverly's gonna kill him.
Oh, then the fatality rate skyrockets.
Yeah.
So they're like, we need all
Beverly
eyes
to
on
him, and her instructions are always just let him be.
Yeah. Don't touch him.
Don't touch him.
Don't touch him. Don't do anything. Let him die.
And just let me worry about him.
I do. Okay, there's one thing I do like. I do like Patrick Stewart's acting fall as he gets zapped in the head. It's very comical,
but it's a trust fall for Riker, dude.
It's the floor.
And then Picard wakes up and this lady's taking care of him. And what's her name?
Elaine,
and she looks kind of like, you know who she looks like? Vasquez from Aliens. She kind of gives me that vibe, dude.
Oh, a little bit. Yeah.
And so she's like, hey, what's his name in this simulation?
Cayman.
Yeah.
Cayman
Islands.
Islands.
Weird. There's
the Cayman
that's such
Islands.
a weird name that doesn't match Picard's persona at all. I don't know. It's a weird name for him.
He's got chest hair popping out, fucking shorts, no sleeves.
He's got tie-dyed.
Yeah, and
he's got poofy shorts. Yeah.
He's like, computer, stop simulation, and then nothing happens, and he's like, fuck, dude, and he's like, where am I? who am I? And she's like,
I'm another holodeck bender.
Yeah. He's like, Cayman, you've had a fever, dude. And immediately I'm like, don't trust this lady. Kill her, dude.
She seems really untrustworthy.
At first,
yeah. I don't know how. Yeah.
She comes off very suspicious.
Well, the whole initial plot, it is very much like, oh God, future perfect is happening again. We need to. We need to.
It kind of made me feel like, oh, do we have like a misery situation where like she's been holding him hostage for?
That would have been that would have been the good one. But instead, it's kind of lame.
But she lets him walk out, so it's fine.
Yeah. And he walks out, and the dude from fucking Office Space is there, and he's like trying not to jump to conclusions. And he planted a tree, and man,
it took like 10 people to plant this tree. By the way,
I've never seen this actor without a mustache, so it's a really big revelation for me. Like this episode, I'm like, whoa!
Wait, is that guy? That's the Office Space guy?
Remember the guy that gets hit by the car?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't watch Office Space.
He's also
is he in Office Space?
He's in a bunch of things.
What's his name? Bataille?
Bataille. The thing I remember him the most is there was this kind of shitty sitcom called Grounded for Life.
Yes, I used to love that show. What are you talking about?
It was fine.
With Donald Logue as a dad?
Yeah. And that's his dad. His dad, this guy plays his dad in that show. Yeah.
I don't recognize this actor, but I do recognize a lot of the other actors around. They've been featured in other Star Trek episodes before. They reuse people.
You don't recognize this actor because he doesn't have a mustache.
The mustache is a really big defining feature of his overall. Like these days, he sports a big ass beard. But let me put it in our chat really quick. This is his like classic look. Like he looks like this in almost every movie or show he's in.
Oh my god!
See,
wow.
yeah. Instantly, you go, oh, this. I've seen this guy in like 30 different things.
Oh my god! Yes, I instantly recognize him. The beard, the mustache really makes a difference.
Yes. It really does.
Oh my goodness! Wow, that's crazy.
Is it Richard Reel? I don't know if that's how you say his last name correctly.
Wow, but that's insane.
It's Richard Roundtree. And so this guy's like, hey, Cayman, and he's like, Bataille, and he's like, you're my old friend, and like everything's all shady, dude. Like Picard, first of all, he's too trusting here, dude. I can't believe he lived like 50 years in this town and never like was like, dude, seriously, dude, just tell me the truth. I could accept the truth. What the fuck is happening here, dude?
Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, like, do none of us have fucking sleeves?
Why are we all wearing tie-dyed outfits all the time?
So
I like it. I do like their outfits. I do like their outfits a lot.
If the sun is so strong, why are none of us wearing clothes that cover our skin? And why do we wear hats with holes in them?
Oh my god! Yeah. Don't even get me started on that. Like, let's put on this very non-protective hat that does not protect against the sun at all. It has a bunch of holes in it.
There's one of the townspeople kind of looks like Abe Vigoda in the corner. This is just sitting there.
Yeah. So basically, they're like, "Hey, don't ask too many questions. Like, it's fine. Like, we just
live your life, Cayman. Come on."
Yeah.
So I think the whole symbolism of planting this tree is they're trying to have some kind of hope because they're so desperate and they're in the middle of a drought, and this tree is supposed to represent like, well, if it stays alive and we can keep it alive, there's some hope because
the tree's a metaphor for the probe.
But the tree's the tree's a metaphor for the None of this is real, by the way. None of this is real.
Well, these are all memories. These are
it's all memories. It's kind of like
did this actually happen, or is this like a fabricated memory?
So what? No,
or is it like a tape? Like it's literally like they put a tape in his head, and we're just playing the tape.
Yes. So it's basically like an interactive simulation of their memories.
So this did happen.
Yes, all of this did happen.
So the tree planting and all of that,
and it's all from the point of view of the guy who sent the probe, which is him.
Yes,
and whoever receives the memory embodies his role.
Yes.
So that's why
that makes sense.
Yeah. So.
I mean, I do like that they're planting this tree as something to like hold on to, I guess.
Yeah. There's
hope.
So this guy sucks at playing the flute. whoever the real guy was, and apparently he didn't want kids. But then like when it's funny, as soon as he realized like the planet was dying, he's like, "Oh, we should have kids."
Yeah.
Oh my god! Don't even get me started.
The worst time to have the children.
But anyway, so he's like, but Cayman, your flute. Here's your flute, dude. And he's like, "Oh, I'm not good at this." He's like, "You never were, dude." And then she's got the necklace that's the same like the same dreidel as the ship. And so let's get rid of the bullshit on the Enterprise.
Yeah, because that's the least important stuff.
It literally, like,
it's actually kind of annoying that they keep cutting back. I wish they never cut back.
Yeah,
I think that would have been kind of neat. Yeah, they really didn't need
to cut back at all.
So they keep cutting back, and Beverly's fucking everything up, and finally, like, Riker's like, we should unplug him from the thing. We'll unplug him from the mind meld thing with the ship, and then they do it, and he has like a heart attack, and he's like, oh, I'm dying. And he has a heart attack in simulation as well. Yeah. And then they connect him again, and he goes forward in time, and then finally they bring him out, and that's all's well that ends well, and they give him the flute. So that's
the only important part is the ending.
The flute.
The middle part doesn't really matter
at all.
He has a couple kids.
No, on the ship, on the Enterprise stuff.
Ship. Oh yeah.
All the middle Enterprise stuff is completely useless.
Yeah.
Actually weakens the story by constantly reminding you this is happening.
But I guess what they're using is to intercut the big old time jumps. Is the only reason that they're putting it there, I guess.
I feel like you could do that anyway. You could just do that between commercial breaks, or you could just do that just as just by fading in and out.
Well, when they come back after they go to Beverly fucking shit up, he's got hair. Picard's got hair on the sides.
Yeah, he decided to grow like a Hulk Hogan style hair curtain.
How do you go from being so that implies that I guess he's not bald. He's just very close shaven when he's younger at the sides.
Yeah, Picard and then trims his hair.
And then I guess I always thought he was bald. I didn't realize there was
he has a clear balding.
Yeah, he's always had that white tuft around the rim of his head.
On the sides. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's kind of the first time I've noticed it, I guess.
What do you mean? You didn't notice a stubble on the side?
Not really.
He's not bald. Dang. He's not Professor Xavier.
No, I know, but I think this is the first time I realized that, like, where you're bald on top, but like, I thought he shaved. I don't know. I guess wow. I'm really realizing that there is a little bit of fur.
Now I'm realizing that you never notice. You never look at his head. You always looking at his dick.
I do, but he's crotch, dude. He's so close cut on the side. I don't know. You really have to look carefully.
No, you don't. Know. You don't have to look carefully at all. It's right there.
I don't know.
You're always looking at his crotch.
I guess so.
And not at his head, dude.
So I guess when he's older, he decides, like, fuck it, I'm going to let it grow out then.
Yeah, dude.
Well, it's their way of, like, he's not quite an old man yet, but they needed to show age progression.
Doesn't your hair fall out when you're older? Maybe.
Well, it's like Hulk Hogan. He grew like a curtain.
He doesn't have hair on top.
Yeah.
What are you embarrassing the man, Sarah? He doesn't have hair on top.
He just has male pattern baldness on top, but the sides. They don't
solve that in the future. Actually, hold up.
Dude.
Well, Roddenberry famously said that in the future,
this brings up a whole nother problem. We can save people. We can like artificially put spines in, but we can't solve
Roddenberry explained it.
There's a built-in quote for that.
What does he say?
Go for it, Marvin.
Well, he said very specifically, in the future, we will no longer worry about stupid things like people being bald. We'll just be like, that's fine. So
we know that's not true. That's not fucking true. Because then explain Riker and why he's such a hound dog off certain people. And
so is. Do you know how many people want to fuck Picard?
Yeah,
Picard is highly fuckable in this world.
No, but I feel like Roddenberry is trying to say that like appearances, but I feel like he's trying to say appearances won't matter to some extent when he makes that. Like we won't worry about. No,
he just means baldness won't matter. He says baldness,
but that's appearance.
But that's one part of appearance.
There are women that will not date a bald guy.
Not in this future.
100%.
In this future, they stopped caring.
In this future, women it's been blocked out of their attractive trait.
Yeah,
like no short kings, no bald guy. Like that's not.
They don't care. They don't care.
That's crazy.
Because money's not an issue, Sarah. Money's not an issue, dude.
The only people they find creepy are guys who are visors. Then those guys they go. Ooh.
Also, So
it's fine if you're bald. It's fine if you're short. But if you wear a visor,
no, it's like ugh.
Or if you're or if you're a werewolf lady.
Yeah, if you're a Muppet lady,
yeah.
then
oh my god, that's silly. I don't buy that. But whatever.
It's the future, baby. That's how it works.
Get used to it, dude.
Oh my god.
So this is fucking weirdo that like he comes from another. He's like the collector. Whatever his name is. Whatever his name is.
He's like some government official.
Yeah,
that guy.
He's like the local senator.
Yeah, and they're like,
and he's like, the comptroller.
Yeah,
he's the comptroller.
He's like, hey, Picard's like, why don't we just make this thing to like suck out the humidity?
Why don't we try?
Yeah, and he's like,
instead of not trying anything, let's try something more.
He's like, I'll look into it. And then he leaves, and Picard's like, he's never gonna fucking look into it.
And he gets his name wrong. He calls him like Kanan
instead of Cayman,
which is the universal symbol for nice story, bro. I'm never gonna look into this.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
And then he leaves, and then magically he becomes best friends with the fucking the Bolton, what's his name?
Batai.
Yeah.
He becomes best friends with him, and he's like, friend, we share water. We play the flute. We get drunk outside.
We play Forever Jacques on the flute.
Yeah, and he's like, I take my shoes off and like get
my wife picks them up.
Yeah, I get foot cancer because I don't cover my feet. And so she comes out. And he tells him like, go home. And my thought is like, oh, she's trying to fuck, dude. And she's just like, fucking beat it, bro. And she's like, all right. He's all right. And then he's like, hey, pick up your shoes, you piece of shit.
That's like her thing. She's like, I'm always picking up your goddamn shoes.
Pick up your shoes. And then she goes, oh, I'm sorry. I've been nagging you all day. Oh.
Yeah. And then he's like, hey, can I have permission to like build a room? And she's like, what are you going to build a fucking
something?
Settlers of Catan fucking room? And he's like, no.
Build a shoe rack you won't fill, you fuckers.
Yeah. Like, can you build a fucking shoe collector rack or whatever?
Yeah. And then he's like, no. He's like, let's build a nursery. And she's like, really? She's like, yeah. He's like, I'm gonna cream pie you here tomorrow.
She's like, finally. That's like, all I wanted.
She's like, Cayman, you shouldn't talk that way.
Cayman came in her.
Yeah, there it was.
You're a pervert.
Yeah.
Okay, but
it was coming.
I just want to point out something. Like, I felt like, I guess maybe in the future, like having a baby is unfortunately one of those things that like it does tie to your age. And so I feel like these people were giving me like grandparent vibes. Like I didn't realize that she's at like the reproductive.
What are you talking about? Him, yes, but her, she looks young, dude.
Really? I don't know. She looks like in her mid 30s to me. Like she looks.
I think it's more of also even
40.
Even if you thought it was 40s, I think it could easily just be like they're an alien species. Like they are not humans.
Yeah,
I know.
So, I mean, they're humanoid though.
I know more than one person that had a baby in their 40s.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
know someone who did.
I guess it's just her.
It can happen.
It's her styling, like her wardrobe and her hair and her makeup. It just makes her look like much older than she is.
But I'm also just personally waving it as they're not human. These are not human beings.
Yeah. Also, this is in the future, Sarah.
These are aliens.
Yeah, that's true.
In the future, you could just
actually, we don't even know if she's pregnant. Maybe it's just something she grows in a laboratory, and that's
we actually don't know how they make children.
We didn't see her pregnant.
Yeah,
they just appeared.
Maybe they're like
we didn't see Picard actually
the Janai, and they emerged from
sex with her.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
Maybe Picard has to come on top of.
But also, okay, but that brings up one thing. At this point in the story, they are fully aware of the situation of the planet they're on and how dire it is. Like they're in a drought. It's looking very bleak.
Yeah,
and they're like, yeah, let's have kids. Like
why not? Why not?
Because there's no water, there's no food, there's no.
Wait a minute, they have food and they have water.
It's. I mean, they say that it's bleak. Like they don't have a solution. It's not.
It's something that Picard himself brings up a few times too. He's like,
not looking good.
He's gonna grow up without a future, like stuff like that. He says it all the time.
It's pretty post-apocalyptic. I mean, the way I see it is they're probably like 100 years ahead of probably where we are right now. Like where it's like water is hard to find. They're having trouble figuring out solutions. The sun is becoming more intense, and you're thinking about bringing children. into this world. I don't know. It's just an odd.
Well, that's the thing. It's interesting that you bring that up.
It's just from my point of view. Like, I don't know why she would be like, I want to have children.
Well, because it's kind of like you're saying, like, I believe there's a solution and I believe in hope, as opposed to
that's true. That is one of their core ideas of the story, is that even though Kamen, as the character, is pessimistic, he is also like, but our society is about like trying to hold on to hope. And
I mean, there is the point of view that they could give birth to someone who figures it all out, right? I guess.
Yeah, and that's why they have the tree. The tree is like, hey, even despite this drought, the community comes together to make sure the tree stays alive.
I just find it interesting. I find it very interesting.
I am of a similar mindset where I am like, hey, if this world is doomed, I probably would not bring a child into it. But there is also a point of view of it being like, well, we're trying to be hopeful. And creating a child is like the ultimate, like, sort of
what a bunch of losers.
Well, it's like a declaration of hope, right? But
also like it's like
futile.
Also, you're kind of like saying like, well, maybe 4 people will survive and they're gonna ship and they'll survive and they'll further.
Yeah, maybe one of them will be Kal-El.
Yeah,
like be Superman.
You if you stop having kids because you're like,
that last shot looks like.
It makes no sense that you're like, oh, there's no hope. Let's just stop. Then why even go to work? Then why even do anything?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a point of view for sure. I think it.
What do you mean that's a point of view? Like, no, like if you say, well, there's no why have these kids, and like if it's they're doomed.
I think
in like 30
to
years.
me personally, if an existential crisis as strong as a supernova is going to wipe out the Earth, and we know almost exactly when it's going to happen, and all that is made available to me as information, then yes, I would stop going to work. You know, like I think it's different.
For me, I kind of feel I feel the pain and suffering. I feel badly for the pain and suffering that I feel like I am inflicting on somebody. Like when I think about my niece or somebody who's younger, I feel like it's going to be so hard for them, and it makes me feel bad. Like I feel guilty,
but
because I'm just like, God, Sarah, you know, like they're good. It's going to be so hard for them, that's what makes me feel bad.
That's what somebody in your previous generation said about you. You're here. I guarantee it.
I definitely shouldn't be here. 100%.
Sarah, people have been saying this for thousands of years.
Yeah,
there are definitely some generations where they were like, "Oh, it's gonna be sick for you guys." That's for sure, though.
but think about it, like during the Cold War, like it was like, oh, they could just nuke us anytime. Why would you have kids?
Yeah,
but they kept going. Like in biblical times, they were like, oh, there's the flood's coming, dude. Why have like it just.
I can see both points of view for sure. For me personally, though, I just feel so guilt-ridden of the pain that the pain that somebody would go through, like the infliction of a hard life on somebody who like didn't ask for it, and that's where the guilt comes in.
Shouldn't somebody feel guilty for you that you have to work 40 hours a week and like, you know, like it shouldn't? It's the same thing.
Yeah, they should, mom and dad.
Yeah, I agree.
No, I mean, honestly, again, I guess maybe I feel that way because I'm the child of parents who didn't want this. So
what do you mean didn't want this?
Didn't expect. I was not part of the plan. I was very much not. That wasn't what they wanted for their lives, you know? So I feel like I understand, like, I'm here, but it wasn't necessarily coming from a place of like, this is what I wanted. And my birth inflicted a lot of pain on a lot of people. So maybe that's why I'm like, feel guilty. Because, you know, I almost killed my mom, you know? Me being born almost pretty much like took her life. And forever changed it. Yeah, put my mom in a coma, and you know she didn't ask for that. She didn't want that. You know, so. Well,
I think the other context people would be missing is that they were not expecting triplets.
No, but I'm a triplet too. So there's an extra layer.
You should start with that.
They were like, oh, we could probably barely have one more kid. and it turned out to be 3 simultaneously,
right?
Which is very difficult.
Very difficult, unexpected, not wanted. In addition to already having multiple kids, you know, so it was a financial burden, physical burden, emotional burden, and so I'm coming from a place of like, damn, you know, I definitely did not start off this journey as like wanted. I almost killed somebody, you know. So
yeah, but now, like, I don't know. I feel like, I mean, like, take for instance, like my sister had kids when she was 16, and like I'm sure her kids were like, but her, like, one of her kids is in college now and like doing really great. Like the thing is, like, you can't
there's good sides.
Like you can't look. I don't know. For me, it's like I'm alive and I have to make the best of what I can.
That's true.
Like,
I mean, I'm here.
It doesn't matter what the fuck. I can't look towards I can't look backwards. Do you mean?
Yeah.
I can only look forwards. Like that's to me, like, it's relevant whether, I mean, hell, I don't know like my biological father, but I'm not like, oh fuck, like I'm a bastard child.
I mean, we have no choice but to look forward.
You don't just keep yelling out every day. I'm a bastard.
I'm a bastard. It's like I don't consume my brain with things that. Maybe this is just me getting older, but I feel like I always thought this. Like, if it doesn't make me have fun, make me money, or make me happy, then it doesn't have zero. Like, why would I want to waste anything, like any energy on any bullshit? That's why I don't like reading comments.
I like that. I like that perspective on life. I do like that, and I need to. I mean, I'm always like, well, I'm here. I might as well make the best of it. Life is short, right? So
yeah, but
I've said before, I've said that the meaning of life is post-purchase justification.
Yeah. Yes, Dan, that's actually it. Yes. You spend the whole time being like, why did, yeah. I
mean, because you're already here.
I'm already here.
Fucking here.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is that, like, you know, humans, like, I think we are the only species on Earth that attempts to find meaning in everything, and you know, most other
detriment.
And it's like everything has to be a pattern. Everything has to have some sort of reason or meaning.
Yes.
And you know, almost all of the time, something happens simply because it just is going to happen. And that includes our lives. You know, that includes, honestly, most of the decisions we're making.
That includes whoopsie babies.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the decisions we're making is honestly probably predetermined. You know, like we don't really technically have a choice. It's all just a sum of our experiences and chemical reactions interacting with each other in a predictable way. You know, so there's no true free will, but we want to believe there's a free will because that means there's meaning to it. And you know, that's part of the human condition is that constant struggle between this feels good because I'm assigning meaning to it, but other things I need to let go of that and realize that that part doesn't have meaning. It's just the way it is. You just need to extract what you need from it to feel better. You're
kind of like describing the core tenets of like existentialism, basically. Like,
I remember grappling with existentialism when I learned a term when I was like 12, and I was like, oh, this is what I've been feeling a long time. And then
I feel that every day in the mornings.
Yeah.
Like why the fuck are we getting up and working? Like, this is so stupid. And then I get over it after like 5-10 minutes, and then I go about my day.
Because it ends up being about extracting from what currently exists, you know. Yeah.
What works for me too is acknowledging that living is really hard. Like living as a human being on planet Earth.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
It's really difficult. And I try to give myself credit for everything that we're put through, and we still keep going. We still persevere. We still continue to make new advances. There are good humans on the Earth that do really meaningful work and find the bright light in some very dark times. And for me, I'm just like, it's not easy being human and living on Earth and going through all of this, but somehow that gives me the strength to like continue, you know, knowing that, you know, it's another day and I made it through the day before and I made it. And there are people, obviously perspective, there are people that are going through much unimaginable harder times than I can ever even conceive. that helps me.
Everyone's context is relevant.
Context helps. Context helps. But again, nothing to deter away from everybody's daily struggles, which can often feel really hard. So I don't know.
I was just asking. I have a friend that I talk to a lot, and I forget what she brought up some bullshit problem. And I hate saying, "Oh, this is a first world problem." You know what I mean? So I always try to always phrase it in like a way. And I'm never tactful about it, but I'm always like, do you think people that are like just dirt poor, like people in third world countries, you think they would
have the same issue you're having? Right?
But no, not even that. Like, do you think that they have depression and they have like at these high rates? And my conclusion is that you don't have time. You don't have time to have depression, or you don't have time to like process like mental health.
It's survival.
When you're that poor,
well, you're on survival mode. Well, they likely do. It's just there's no time to even acknowledge the existence of it.
There's no time to process it, or
there's no time to like sit with your feelings. You know how you're told through therapy, like sit with your emotions for 5 minutes. I'm like, someone who's in survival mode or in a war zone or something, there's no 5 minutes to sit and process emotions. There's where am I going to find food? Where am I going to get out of the line of fire? Like,
I need time to sleep. Like some people just literally
it's crazy, but being human is really hard. But I did want to ask one question there when I was looking up this episode online, because this episode was really fascinating to me. There's this question from this article that I was reading that said, is it better to live happily in ignorance or to live with the burden of truth? Or is there a balance we should strive for?
There's a balance, I think. I think like almost everything there's a balance. Because total truth is like, I think a total truth would be like, oh, I know the entire universe at once.
Well, the truth is that Earth is going to be swallowed up and exploded one day, right? Like,
right. And to me, truth is beyond knowing just the facts. The truth is like also feeling it and processing it emotionally. So if you were to process the heat death of the universe emotionally, you would probably be destroyed as a person. So you need to disconnect yourself somewhat from that. At the same time, you should still be aware of things. You can't live in total ignorance.
Right.
Even in the Matrix, when they were like, oh, I want to live in bliss. It's like, well, he had to choose the type of bliss he wanted because he needed a point of comparison, And
when does bliss get tiresome? Like, I don't know. Is living happily ignorant really living?
I think everything is about contrast. So, and I don't even necessarily mean like contrasting good and bad things. I mean like just different textures. Like
how do you know how good you have it if you don't know the bad, right? Like, how do you understand?
I don't subscribe to that theory. I mean, sure, you appreciate things more. Like when you're like, oh well, it sucks to not have this. So now that I have this, I appreciate it. But I don't think like it's like someone saying like someone hazing you at work because they were hazed. No, like it should be like if you have the opportunity to not be that way, then don't be that way.
Yeah.
Right? Or like that dying of thirst is probably bad, but you don't need to experience it to know that you should try to avoid it. Like you don't need to go into the Sahara Desert and almost die from thirst to.
I think more what I'm saying is like wishing away your hardships, like the unavoidable hardships, like a broken heart or, being fired from a job or laid off, like wishing those away in hoping for instead just never experiencing those things and never experiencing those lows of emotions to know like the opposite. You know what I mean? Like more like that.
I mean, I was using the desert thing metaphorically. So
not so much as like I've never had a drink of water and I wanted to deprive someone of water.
No, but I meant that's what I was using that metaphorically. So if you want to use the actual direct
or like a broken heart, I mean, as much as you wish that your child wouldn't experience a broken heart, it's kind of necessary.
But there's a difference between a broken heart And, which is like a pretty benign thing to like, let's say watching your parents get shot in front of you.
No, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Like Batman,
But also like there's a difference between like reality and like fairy tales. Like, like do I wish my kid isn't heartbroken? No, because then that's not part of the human experience.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I don't think anyone needs to experience the extremes.
No,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like a broken heart is honestly pretty benign by comparison, compared to like living in a war zone.
Oh, you sound like you've never had your heart broken, Marvin.
well, I mean, it's an everyday thing by comparison.
I've had my heart broken, but it doesn't matter if you realize that like time. Like, think about a time that you had. Well, I can't ask you, Sarah, because apparently you like to savor it. But like, I think of like a time where I was heartbroken, and then like I think about how I felt then, and then I think about how I felt now, and I realize like, oh, there was stupid dumb feelings that I felt as like a teenager.
Oh my god, I don't think that at all. That's crazy.
Yeah, to me, like time. It
makes you downplay, like you feel like, oh, that was so dumb, and like I shouldn't have been crying.
100%.
Really, that's nuts.
Oh yeah.
No, I very much still feel like that was a season of my life, and I still very much, if I transport myself to that, like those are still very valid for me. I feel it like it was just yesterday.
Oh no.
Do you think they're valid still?
Yeah. Oh god.
I feel like there's a lot of feelings I felt in the past 100%. Which are not valid.
No.
Like
they're still valid
they
for
were
me.
No, by valid I meant when I was feeling them, they were being felt because I was being immature or I was misunderstanding a situation.
Not at all. I don't have that at all.
Oh, so you think you were perfect back then and there was no growth?
No, it's not perfect. I'm just saying that heartbreak or breakup that I was going through and feeling, those were all very real emotions that I think I would feel to this day. Like that they weren't based on maturity or immaturity. They were very real and very based on real life hurt and circumstances. They were not immature at all.
No. I mean, I also I'm understanding you, and I understand, and I'm telling you, like I have the same thing, like, but I'm not talking about maturity, like, oh, I was immature. It's more like, no, like those, like I shouldn't have been worked up about it because it wasn't a thing. Really? Do you mean like it wasn't a thing? Like when you measure it in the context of where you are, or like where you are with a new partner, or what everything makes you who you are. So I don't say it's trivial, but I also don't worship a fucking moment.
I feel that way about certain things, but like things like heartbreaks or, very critical moments in my life, I don't feel that way about. But there's some things like, like, I don't know, like maybe the certain ways I dress because of insecurities growing up. Now I look back and I think that's so stupid. I wasted time and feelings on being judged by others when now I'm older and I'm like, that's
more of what dumb. I meant.
Like that. But, definitely. But like, why did I cover up so much as a kid? You
didn't feel the same way about like a broken heart issue?
No. Well, I'm a serial monogamous long-term relationship person, so I'm probably not the best person to ask because my relationships are very long and very involved. So
I understand that, but like in the context of like, well, that led me to where I'm at now.
But also, like, I just want to digress really quickly. Is it really serial if you've only had two?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Well, serial, I'm using it as like, I guess, back to back. I don't even know if that's the right word.
You've only had two, so I don't know.
I'm a person that's in very long, committed relationships that are life-changing. So for me, my exes are not like just
your ex. Your ex.
Yeah, my ex. I have exes. I have multiple people I dated. It's not like one person, but there is one person that held the longest, 7 years. So that was my last relationship. And so that is like, to me, it's like, there's so much to unpack there. So there's just a lot of life lived in very crucial moments of my life. So,
but you don't those moments with the previous partner, like you don't think back on some of them and go, oh, wow, I would think differently now if that happened now, like,
no.
Really, because you really don't think that like you're a different person now.
Oh, I know I'm a different person now, but I know the person I was then, and it's who I was authentically at that time. And I wouldn't do
what I mean is
yeah.
like, so I guess, okay. So I guess the thing to me is you seem to crystallize moments in time. And I guess I don't do that necessarily.
I don't do that either.
Yeah. I think well, for one, scientifically, the brain works. You actually can't crystallize moments like that. Those emotional moments, even when they're imprinted on you through trauma or a strong event, your brain will eventually confabulate the details of it.
Oh, I'm sure. I don't deny that. I mean, so there's a reason for the breakup, right?
So whether you think of it being as a crystallized portion of your memory or not, it has changed over time. And
I don't deny that. I'm just also like I think it comes down to your personality type. I'm an extremely sentimental person, and I'm very reflective, very everything happens for a reason type of person. And
I'm very much not an everything happened.
Yeah.
I think most things do not happen for a reason.
I'm also a person of science. So nothing.
I'm a person
it's all
of
chaos.
science.
It's all chaos.
I meant
it's all
like,
chaos.
Everything. I am where I am because of where I've been type thing. Like,
but that's just chaos. Isn't that chaos?
Yeah. I mean, like, well,
sure.
I agree with you on the point of people are the sum of their experiences.
Yeah. Like if I didn't do X, Y, and Z, I wouldn't be here going to grad school, meeting you guys and all this kind of stuff,
But then you're now describing, you're like slowly treading into destiny, which I don't subscribe to, and I don't believe in at all.
I don't believe in destiny.
I only believe in determinism in the sense that like we are all part of a system. So like, you know, like how like we're all just a bunch of chemicals and physical responses to things. So in that sense, there's a deterministic quality to
Dan,
it.
I'm sorry, dude. We lost you.
we lost Dan.
You. A good like 30 minutes ago, we lost you, dude. Let's get back to the episode, guys.
Sorry. That was a huge tangent, but very interesting.
The story is very much about things like that.
The story is this. What you're describing is literally Picard. What we're battling here is some of us are Picard and some of us are the people of this planet that have hope, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you really fall into somewhere in between, right?
I mean, we as humans already kind of do this time capsule stuff. Like think about when you're a kid, when you buried time capsules, or I think NASA already is beaming shit into space for people to find.
So the most famous example of NASA doing it is when they send the golden disc out with the Voyager probe.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm.
In a macro level type of way of viewing this, we do this with pictures. We do this with videos.
Yes,
we do this,
pictures, videos every day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which I don't like too much.
I don't like it in the sense that it's being used in a capitalist ecosystem as a commodity rather than being used for like actual personal use. The vast majority of it is being used as data.
Yeah,
harvested.
And I don't like. I'm trying lightly. I agree 100% with you. I have a hard time posting. I post because I have some family like online, but also like I don't give a fuck about them. Like if you care about me, I don't have to post online. You'll reach out to me and go, hey, can you send me an email? Let's send me a picture of your kid, dude, or send me a hard copy of your like.
I think that's fine. I think that's normal.
My wife still subscribed to that theory. Like, well, I have family that like are only on Facebook. Well, then send them a picture in like a hard copy of the picture. Don't you know what I mean? Like, don't
print it out and mail it with a stamp.
I don't like. That's why I got off of Facebook, just because I don't need to tell people, oh, look at what I'm doing. Right. Sometimes it feels good. Sometimes it does feel good. Like, dude, I'm at Korean barbecue. Fuck
You're jealous. You're very jealous.
Yeah. But overall, like, oh, look at this life I'm living. But maybe, behind the scenes,
it's performative.
I'm arguing with my wife in the picture. It's very performative.
I
don't
hate
like
it
that.
because it's like it's turned, like, the capitalism aside, even without the capitalist part of it, it's turned what would normally just be like, oh, just nice memories into performative cachet.
Yes.
Like even when people send things to each other on chats or like group chats, it's just to be like, look how well I'm doing. Look how well my kid's doing.
Yeah.
Don't you wish your kid was doing this well?
I appreciate when like someone's on vacation and like something funny happens or somebody like it feels more personal when somebody like directly like text messages me a picture, and it's like also here's the catch, like, for me at least. For me, this is a catch. If somebody like sends me a picture on their vacation and it's something really funny, like something like they were taking a picture and someone fell and they took a picture of it,
or something that like reminded you of
like
them,
not only
of you, or
like not only like are they like hey, here, we're at this place, dude, but also like I'm thinking of you because I know you're gonna find this fucking funny, dude.
Right.
I did that the other day. Like I saw a Titanic Best Picture thing, and I took a picture for Scott because Scott's a big Titanic person, and you know,
right.
Yeah, that
my
means
thought
more, was
like, I want to send him this picture because Scott likes Titanic.
That means more than like, you know, posting something online and being like, so anyway.
Well, that just means that Marvin posts food and our cats. So you must be immensely, you want to show out. You must think
the
our
only
cats
things I'm proud of.
deserve to be seen all over the place.
I'm only proud of our cats.
I think
cooking.
the best things to follow are the ones that are dumb, like the people that post like what you think is dumb. Like I think those are the ones to follow, because again, I've said this a couple of times. If you have like 3 pictures of yourself in like the 3 rows, it's like, forget it. I don't want to follow that account. But anyway, we're doing that here in real life. This time capsuling.
Yep.
And so these people, they at the end of the day, to wrap this up, and I'll go into it. So in the next few flashbacks to this inception, he has a daughter, and then he has a son who he names after his best friend who dies, and then eventually his kids are older, and
I just want to mention it is interesting that like he slowly fully accepts that this is his life.
Yeah, it's over 5 years, you said?
Well, that's the first jump. That's the
first jump is 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the whole thing is like 40 years. Yeah.
Well, his grandkids got to be like about 7-8 years old, dude. So
yeah,
like,
I think the whole thing is like 40 years.
Yeah.
So it's a long time.
It's a big time jump, and he lives his whole lifetime. And it's interesting. Do you think, because at one point he says, I thought, like, what does he say? Like, I thought having kids would be kind of like not a waste of time, but what does he say? I can't remember the quote, but he's like, I'm so glad I did have the kids. Like,
I don't quite remember.
I think he said, I didn't think I needed children to live a full life, but now I can't imagine living without them.
Oh, yes. That's what it was. Yeah.
That's such an interesting... I don't know.
It's a very typical parental sentiment.
I know.
Though,
I'm not a parent, but I'm so fascinated by that statement. And it's like, you can't, I don't know. It's like one of those things that you can't understand that statement unless you have children, I guess. So
cue the parents in the comments.
It's like I fucking hated them when they were born or when I was pregnant. I never wanted kids, but now they're the love of my life.
What's funny? I have one friend from high school who's on Instagram, and they unexpectedly had a kid, and she's very like honest and open about how she hates having a child. She like goes, oh, look at my cute little kid, but then she constantly goes, God, I really wish we were still not parents. There's still so many things I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I mean, so
it's true.
So
you shouldn't say it.
Yeah.
Whoa. I don't agree with that statement, Dan. I'm actually pro honesty about parenting. I really want to remove the stigma, particularly against women who are not able to talk freely and honestly about not wanting to be a mom or regretting being a mom.
Oh,
how about we draw the line at telling a child directly to their face?
Well, she's not doing that.
Yeah. Well,
so she's not doing that.
I mean, I will say personally that has happened to me. So I have a mom that has openly said, I never wanted to be a mom. Point blank. I don't want to be a mom, never wanted to be, not motherly. I'm at an age now where we can have an honest discussion about what that means and how that affects our relationship. Is it hard to hear at first? Yeah, it's super hard to hear that.
I think the point is that
your mom
it's
doesn't
not
want
something
you.
to tell the child while they're still a child.
Yeah,
while they're a child. But I think when you're an adult,
when they're an adult, we can discuss this.
There's a way to
openly.
approach it that I think for me, it has being open about it and having my mom be open about her feelings about not wanting to be a mom has actually helped our relationship a lot. Like it has helped it. We have never been better ever since we are really open about, her feelings, and there's no pretending, there's no masking, there's no, it's just being honest. But again, only a conversation you can have as an adult. I will preface that.
So like you mentioned something, and it's funny because I see nothing but the opposite. Like, it's funny because this is literally because I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of friends that are like you. That are like, I don't want kids, and I want to be open about it. And I want to be, but I feel like it's the opposite. Like, people are like, oh, you can't talk freely about you not wanting kids. And I'm like, no, quite the opposite. I have nothing but people that are saying like, I don't like I don't. Wow. I've encountered quite the opposite. That like,
it's more like, I guess what I was talking about is more like parents who already have kids who can openly talk about regretting that. That's not something that people talk about freely, and I think that people should be able to talk about that. I think that's a very human emotion.
But also, you're talking a very specific
there's a lot more than you. No. Oh my God, I don't think it's small. I think it's small because people don't talk about it. But I think that's true too. I think there's a large amount of people.
I think there is a lot of parents out there who really regret having been parents,
but they don't talk about it because you're not allowed to say that.
It's a stigma. But I also think even on the point of you saying a lot of your friends groups openly go, oh, I would not have kids, right?
Yeah.
So coming from like my family, who is entirely Korean, that is like not something you say out loud very often. And to say that out loud would be like really disappointing to your parents. Like,
well, I mean, it would be too for like his Hispanic family, but like, I think it's also like the individual. Like, I don't. Like, you shouldn't concern yourself. Look, I'm not preaching to people. Like, you shouldn't concern yourself. Like you should, like Sarah said, if she wants to be honest about having, whether she had kids and then she regretted it, like, you should be. Everybody should be true to themselves, and like, as long as you're not hurting somebody and you're not telling a kid like, oh, I wish you weren't born.
Yeah.
Like, I think you should
don't
be
do
honest.
that when they're a kid.
Yeah.
Maybe when they're an adult and they are able to handle that conversation in a productive way.
Fucking, we unlocked a lot of Sarah's traumas.
But I will say though, that you may not say that directly to a kid growing up, but that kid knows growing up. Like, you may not say that with your words, but a lot of actions dictate how people really feel. And it's really, kids pick up on everything. So that's my life in a nutshell.
I do have a lot of people who, are very honest about like, oh, it's hard to be a parent. It's a lot harder than I thought. But though, when like they do tell you it's very hard. Like I joke around, they're like, oh, no one tells you, and it's like, no, they tell you it's hard, and like, but also at the same time, it isn't hard. Like, it's just it's kind of like life is what you make it. You know what I mean? Like, life can be hard living with a brother who mooches out. Life is hard or easy as much as you make it hard or easy. It doesn't depend.
I very much disagree.
Really?
There is a lot of difficulty in people's lives that are not in their control, and it's not entirely about attitude. It like okay, you can have a great attitude, but if you live in a war zone, there's not much you can do about it.
Now you're describing
let's say like
we're restricting it to United States of America.
Even the United States of America, you can have a great attitude, but if you grew up in abject poverty,
California, Los Angeles,
have to live in the projects, you are living a different, more difficult life than a kid who get to grow up in the suburbs. It's not entirely about attitude. It is an abject difference. And I don't think it's. I think you are. To be honest, I think you are lucky in that you have found parenthood easy.
No. I mean,
I don't think Ricardo said that it's easy.
No. I'm not saying it's easy.
But you said also it was easy in quotes. In that in your context,
it can be easy.
I think you are in a circumstance where you could shift your viewpoint into thinking this is great. I think a lot of parents don't have that luxury.
No, and I'm more thinking of like. It's hard to articulate, but
I know what you mean though. I know what you mean though. Like
what it breaks down to, what I'm really getting to, and I wanted to get to a while ago, like 20 minutes ago, is what it's the Picard's point, which is this, that he says this quote, right? And I totally see it, because I literally went all my adult life thinking, I don't want kids, literally. And my wife too. Like, when we were together for 10 years, we never got married. Almost 10 years, 9 years, sorry. And we weren't getting married. And then one day we were like, literally the same fucking year, dude. Literally. was like, we should get married because like we should like have a kid, right? And we had literally spent years talking about how we didn't want kids. Years.
That's so fascinating.
And then like one year we woke up and it was like, yeah, I guess like because then we could like have
like a biological thing.
Kids. It wasn't a biological thing. Like I mean, it just was.
You just wanted that, you know.
It just and I had gone literally since like
yeah.
And as a teenager, I mean, this is another fucking story, but I always thought like, oh, I definitely want kids. And then I hit like 25 and I was like, no, I don't want kids. I definitely don't want kids. And then it just shifted at one point, and then it was.
Well, you flip flop. You're wishy-washy.
I'm wishy-washy as shit, dude.
So you're not the dedicated kid hater that you've sold yourself to be, Ricardo.
Yeah.
Well, it's also easy because you got a good kid. I think it seems like.
No. I mean, here's the thing: is that like I do appreciate the people who are honest on Instagram and stuff. I do have friends who are parents that are like, oh, it's fucking hard. It's like hard to like.
Do they go as far as saying they regret it though?
No, none of them.
But that's what I'm kind of wondering. I'm actually reading a book called Regretting Motherhood, and it's a book that interviews women all about this subject, about actually going as far and saying is like, it's not that I'm saying it's hard. It's not that I'm saying it's difficult. I'm actually saying I regret it.
But what are you hoping that people get out of it?
I think it's just a fascinating viewpoint. I'm not trying to say anybody's supposed to get. I think it's more like a freedom to express themselves about a topic that we're not allowed to talk about.
Yeah, I think if you feel a genuine way about something, but society is telling you you're not allowed to openly talk about it. That's really unhealthy. So I think I think it is probably a hidden fact that there are a lot of parents who did regret having children, but they can't.
They can't say that. They can't say that to their therapist. They can't say that to their friends. They can't say it. It can't leave their mind.
But that doesn't mean they don't love their children. It doesn't mean that they don't like having a family.
No.
But why would that? This is why
you're not allowed to talk because you're not allowed to talk about that. It's a really taboo subject.
Hundreds of dollars in therapy. That's your therapist.
No, I mean, but I'm serious. Like, there's some things that they can't feel like talk they can't. About. Yeah, like
and like some people are uncomfortable with the format of therapy, so they don't realize that therapy is where they can go all out and let it out.
And it's also like society tells you that you're supposed to love being a parent all the time. Like it's God-given. It's the best. It's angels from heaven. You should love every minute of it, even though it's hard.
So I don't know
or whatever. Society doesn't tell you that you're allowed to regret a decision. But still, like, there's not that duality. Because
if you regret it, because you can be an amazing parent who loves your kid and has a great family, but you could regret having had. Yeah. There is someone in my family right now who fits that description exactly. She loves her kids. She loves her family. She's an excellent mom. Everyone who knows her goes, she's better than we were when we were moms. Yeah. But she has told me kind of openly, like not in a quiet conversation, in a conversation where other people can hear that I wish I wasn't a mom.
I mean, that's literally my mom. So I'm saying it from experience. Like these are things that my mom was never able to say openly until like a year ago, and I'm in my 30s. So it's like, it made me sad when we had this conversation. It's like, I wish that there wasn't such a strong stigma for people to feel like they can't just be open. My mom's a great mom. I love my mom. I have a good relationship with her. She was a great mom, is a great mom, but I think it's important to be able to be honest about your feelings. And
I do think I think it goes both ways too. I do think there are people who weren't sure how they felt about children, got children, and then were like, this is the best.
Oh,
wow, this is awesome.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I do think it's cool that Picard felt that way. Like Picard.
Yeah. I mean, Picard could be one because in TNG, he very much is a no kids kind of guy.
He doesn't like kids.
Right?
Yeah. And that carried over into the what's oh my god, I forgot his name. The Cumin? Cayman.
Oh.
The Cayman personality.
Islands.
Yeah, the Cayman personality.
I thought you meant the Borg. When he was a Borg, he's like, I don't want to have children. I'll be a Borg, but
That's why I want to be a Borg, because Borg can't have children. But that,
they have Borg babies. Remember the little Borg and the little bassinet thing or whatever?
Yeah, little drawer baby.
The little drawer baby. Yeah. So they have, even Borgs want kids, okay?
I will say this to put a button on that. I feel like there's more people that have second kids and then regret it than there are
that's Sarah's mom.
There you go. Yeah.
They were like, I should have stayed.
My parents have told me they're really glad it ended up. They tried to have a second kid, and they told me they're really glad they didn't. Or there you go.
Yeah. They lucked out.
I'll say based off of my experience, and only I'm trying to speak it was experience, but we only had one kid. And that was our plan all along, like just one and done, never again. And we always thought, like, I do have this thought, and I've had it for a while, that even when we had the first kid, and there was an inkling of like, oh wow, like are we one and done, or should we have another kid? And it was always like, well, we don't want it to be like kind of lonely and stuff, but if we have the means, we should definitely adopt, because there's so many kids that are not wanted, or something. And like we were always like very much like pro adoption if we had the means to do it. But I will say that, like, I know people that have one kid, and you're right. There's some people who are like, oh, the kid's kind of a burden and like they're always looking. I see a lot of parents that are always looking for like a babysitter, or like they're looking to like be the right. And I'm not saying, look, my kid's rambunctious. He's crazy. He's not.
Oh
easy.
No, he's so well behaved.
No. But
when I've seen him, at least, very little.
and there's lots of times when it's like, yeah, it'd be cool to have dinner and just my wife and I. But literally, the few times I've done it, where it's been like, okay, I always feel like, God damn it, we should have brought him. He would have fucking really loved this fucking thing. It's now like a FOMO thing, like for me. Like,
well, your mindset does change by having to become a parent. But
it's also someone you deeply love and care about, and you want, he's part of your life, and you want him around.
I do feel like it does definitely it's heavier with people with two kids when they're like,
I feel that way specifically too. Like, my niece is at the age now, she's like 7-8 years old, and it's like, okay, they're finally like out of the baby stage, but they're kind of like becoming real people, having legit conversations, and they're like, all right, I can hang with you, like we can chill. It's like a lot easier than like a 2-year-old, or a newborn, where you're like, fuck, I just need a break.
Also, like a newborn, my primary fear would be that like I could this little thing could die.
Oh yeah. Someone handed me, my cousin handed me a newborn baby the other day. Like, when I was visiting them, their newborn baby, when they handed me this baby, I almost like, my arms almost like flew into the air because of how light this baby was. I didn't expect newborns to be so light. I was just like, this baby weighs nothing. Like, I was amazed at how small, and like I almost like,
usually a few pounds and some ounces.
I was like, I felt very uncomfortable holding
their bags are
baby.
mostly water, dude.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. Like, I was amazed at how small and tiny.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't even feel like I was holding anything.
You can drop them, and it's gonna be fun.
That's what I
said. So Picard has a kid.
New baby just dropped.
He has kids, he has grandkids, and he realizes that he wanted kids all along, and that he's happy in this thing, and he realizes, just as he's having like this
he passes on his passions to his children too.
Which is sweet. What's his daughter's name? Maribor. Maribor.
Morabelle? What was it? I can't remember. My brain won't let me.
It doesn't matter. Don't care. So
Maribor. Maribor.
Let's just call her Mary, dude.
Mary.
Mary.
And
she's like a tiny scientist. Well, not tiny.
Picard Jr.
When she's a teenager, she's a scientist.
She's a scientist. And then
Maribor of
his son wants to be a musician. All he wants to do is play metal and shit. And then they grow up, and then the comet's coming, and it's getting too hot, and they got to wear lotion, skins, and
he invented sunscreen. It seems,
and they go outside to look at the rocket launch, and they're like, and then his friends.
Is that like just an enormous setup to get him outside to have this like end?
Yes, it's when the simulation ends, and it goes.
What if he decided he didn't want to go? He's like, I don't want to go to this.
They would drag him out there.
Yeah.
They would.
Like, no, you gotta come. The game ends here, sir.
Yeah.
You gotta come.
And then,
do you think what would have been baller move, dude? I would have been like, this is amazing. If like they pan to him, he's really old, he's sitting there, and then they pan to his friend who's really young. And it's the simulation ends, and if they would have panned back, and he's young again. You know what I mean?
See, I thought they were gonna do that, just to like return him back to his time.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, that would
be the transition. But it's fine that they didn't as well, because in a way, mentally, he has lived that long. So
true.
It's all contained.
I do love the really super bright lights of the outside area, implying that the sun is implode, like they're pretty much getting to the end here, and I really love how they incorporated that into like the design.
They open
of
up the camera another stop.
It's really really smart.
Blowing out the.
We were talking about having kids in bleak times. Here's the thing: is something that's not talked about a lot, Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and we should be talked about more. Is that some people have an interest in seeing what humans taste like, and maybe their kids, if it gets closer to the apocalypse, their kids will get to experience that, as a culinary thing.
Oh, I thought you'd have a guaranteed food source.
No.
I mean, it looked like old Cayman / Jean-Luc was about to eat his own grandkid.
Yeah,
he was like wrestling with him on the floor.
But I'm just saying, maybe the future generations could have that luxury, of a culinary experience.
I think we taste like pork. I've heard.
Probably,
humans taste like pork. Yes.
Yeah, but according to some cannibals,
cannibal term is long pig, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's what cannibals have said, which is fascinating. I mean,
but who can trust a cannibal, dude?
I'll trust the cannibal.
I trust them. I mean, they have what's their motivation to lie about what we taste like?
I mean,
you've already admitted that you've ate somebody, so might as well just be honest.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually good logic.
I would be if I ate somebody, I would be 100% honest about the whole experience.
But what about like a serial killer?
Also, there's been like art in quotes things.
Or what if it's an embarrassed cannibal that can't really cook and he only gets store-bought?
Yeah, he sucks.
He got store-bought.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your culinary talents?
At his own cooking, delightfully devilish.
Did you season correctly? Did you use seasoning?
Well, there was like an art thing. I think it was in Japan where someone ate like parts off of a human. I think like one was like foreskin. And one was like, I think like a piece of
was it sponsored by Extra?
and I think they did indeed describe it as like bacon.
Marvin, what's the code? What's the code? The discount code?
Well, go to extra.com and use offer code newbie.
No, give the really complicated awful one.
Wait, don't you guys remember that story where that guy had his foot amputated and then he had a dinner party and he made tacos out of his foot to his friends?
Yeah.
And he served it because he didn't tell them that it was like his foot.
It was really good. You know what? You know what's so funny?
For real. They ate it.
There's a lot of food trucks around my neighborhood.
Oh no!
Wait.
Oh god!
The other day,
going?
We were driving down the street.
Our podcast doesn't usually get this gross, so if you're listening while eating something, listener, I'm sorry.
We were driving down the street, and my wife turns around, and we were literally stopped next to a food truck, and my wife was looking, and she's like, isn't it so funny that like the first 3 meats are translated, and then they stop translating the bottom ones, and then I look over, and it said like this. It said al pastor pork.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It said carnitas pork.
Yes.
It said carne asada steak. Like pollo chicken, and then the ones that weren't translated were lengua, cabeza, and tripas.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder why.
And all the good stuff, really.
Michelle's like, if you don't know what that is, then that's not for you. That's not for you.
They don't expect us to swallow this tripa.
Yeah. No one's gonna order this if you don't know what
really
it is.
well fried tripa tacos are super good. Like
dude, I'm telling you, dude. I had a cousin who was like very anti fucking the vaccine thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've seen you eat fucking tripa tacos in Mexico from a street vendor, dude. You're worried about what's in the vaccine, dude? You've eaten fucking cow shit.
You've eaten poo,
dude.
Yeah. I don't think you should be worried.
I've
seen you eat blood sausages, dude.
Oh God, blood sausage. Oh,
blood
so
sausage.
Disgusting.
Also great.
No, thank you.
But yeah, he goes through the simulation basically reaches end state, and the crew, the cast basically comes out and goes, "We were
Welcome
robots all along." Good
job, Truman.
You're the memory.
Here's what I hate. Here, this is why
congratulations, you won.
This is why this episode only gets a 7 from me.
Wow.
Probably less.
I give it a 7 too.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I just want to preface this.
What?
The Inner Light is often in contention for best episode of TNG.
Holy shit.
I can understand that. I can.
I can see why. Well, it was definitely like a groundbreaking type of episode. I've just seen too many other things like it already that were already inspired by it. It's kind of like going back to Seinfeld after all the people or all the things that were inspired by Seinfeld.
Or watching The Big Lebowski after everyone's already ruined it for you.
Yeah, exactly. It's that sort of thing.
Or Monty Python shit, you know.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about this episode that why I gave it a 7. At the end, he doesn't go like, "Someone give me a pen, dude. Give me a pen. I'm gonna fucking start writing these down. These people need to be fucking."
Why didn't he do that? Yeah, I would have been.
He didn't tell anybody. He didn't tell. Well, not that we saw. Not that we saw.
No, yeah. Because that's why they did it, right? They did this so that there's a record.
unless Picard's like, "I'm gonna write a beautiful song with his flute, dude, that I know how to play now." Because I spent 40 years playing it.
But how would you have liked that expressed? Would you have liked him to see him pull out like a piece of paper and start writing?
I don't care as long as he would have.
Well, I'm just thinking now out loud to myself, or even maybe to Riker and Beverly, who's like, "Guys, I have a crazy story to tell you," and then fade out.
Here's how. Here's how
we know that he's gonna.
This is how they could have done it. Captain's log. The end. Just start with the captain's log.
Oh yeah, that would be a really good way to do it.
I like it. Yeah,
done.
Just a little something, little something to show that he's actually going to share what he's learned. Right.
I mean, I've had 3. Okay, so
I have humans. You've eaten 3 humans.
I haven't seen the inner. I haven't seen the Inner Light in a while, so I was wondering if it would hold up, and I guess it did. But I have just 3 general gripes. That one is the one we're talking about right now, which is, he doesn't do out loud what was the point of the probe, which is to share their memories and stories. I kind of was imagining like he decides to like recreate it in the holodeck, or like he decides to write a book about it, as he's a book guy, right? So maybe he writes a book or something like that. The other thing is, so why does the probe self-destruct?
That was my big question.
I don't get that.
Yeah. What's
a self-terminating probe. Like what? Why would they do that?
What is this? Ethan Hawke?
Yeah, I was about to say. What was that, like 6?
Yeah, and then
but then they only left the flute behind as like
dude.
Yeah, like, so the flute.
Why wouldn't there be?
And that's my other gripe.
Dude, what if he plays it and then he's like, "Oh, this sounds weird. This doesn't play like a real flute." He opens it. It's a USB stick.
And it has the clean slate in it.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to have the piece of
Catwoman,
Jebediah Sprungfeld in it.
He's eating a diner in fucking Italy, and Riker shows up, sees him, and he fucking just winks, and takes his hat and says nothing.
Oh my god.
And then we find out that Data's middle name is Robin.
Yeah, and Vosh it's Picard having coffee with Vosh.
Yeah,
you know. The other thing was, I was like, okay,
that'd be a beautiful.
That was a pretty big rocket you sent up, right?
Yeah.
Why? Why just
that's
the
what
flute?
she said. Sorry.
Why not send like DNA samples?
Bunch of jizz,
pictures,
a rocket full of jizz.
You know,
or do like a time. You know, like when we put a time capsule, we put like a bunch of stuff.
I got it, dude. Send an Esker fucking dick skin wallet.
So that's why I'll give it a 9. It's not perfect.
They're gonna cancel this dude.
I think it's really good. Emotionally, it's very good. It's just there's a lot of like, what? Why did that happen? Which normally, if it's good enough, is not distracting, but it is in this because he doesn't do the main thing the plot calls for.
Here's the thing, and I hated that Picard's a bitch, dude. He doesn't let his son fucking play the flute. That's all he wants to do. He's just, I want to rock out, Dad.
Especially since it's like the end of the world, and it's like, dude, why does it even matter?
His wife is like, hey, your son wants to talk to you because he wants to play the flute, and he's like, oh, does he? And then he goes out and he's like, yeah, I want to play the flute, Dad. And he's like, we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
and
I hate
you.
Even though you don't sound any better than I do.
He should just been like, do whatever you want. The planet's gonna explode in 5 more years, so it doesn't matter. Do whatever.
He's like, I never wanted you. I only wanted your sister.
Oh my God!
You were an accident.
You're an accident.
Call it a rude sandstorm.
I give this episode a 9.5. I really liked this episode a lot. I thought it was near perfect.
Well, it really rummed up a lot of your trauma, dude.
It did. Everyone learned a lot about me and my childhood in this episode. But that's okay. I'm open. I'm an open book. I thought this episode, I did have a problem with the self-destruction of the probe after. That didn't make any sense. I was like,
it seemed like that was a writer's contrivance just to make it really really special.
I
wish it was that. If they wanted to do that, I think I was hoping it would be more of like the mechanism was very fragile. Once it played its cycle, we can't retrieve it. It's broken. It's irretrievable now.
I just want to say I'm a 7. Not me personally. I mean, the episode is a 7.
Yeah.
Yours?
Yeah. I'm not a 7. I'm like a LA 3. I'm a 7 on the episode.
That's
I'm a 7
on the record.
Yeah.
Nice.
But tell you what, dude, this Picard didn't even like lead us with like, oh, he's gonna write it down, he's gonna put it like on video. Nothing.
That was my other issue. Is a little something to show us that Picard is gonna do what he went through all of this for, and what these people went through all of this for, which was to share and send.
I wish he wrote a book.
Yeah, have some kind of message. I do like Ricardo's ending of the captain's log.
Yeah,
I love that.
I
think that would have been really cool. Very subtle, nothing crazy, but very subtle, just to let us know that he is in fact going to talk about these people and their way of life.
I could totally imagine the scene now. It's like Riker comes in with the flute. Riker doesn't leave. Picard says, I'll show you what I learned. And he plays the flute for him. Riker's like,
and they're like, wow,
that's amazing.
We didn't know you know how to play the flute.
That's amazing. And then, but then Picard goes, actually, Riker, I need some time alone, maybe for a few days. And he goes, oh, I'll clear your calendar. And then he goes to Captain's Log. That would be great. Oh man, that
would be all I would need, because that's the main gripe that I had. It's like, you just emerged from essentially a 40-year experience and been told it lasted 20 minutes.
And he had 2 kids, a wife, a grandchild.
You have a lot of loss to deal with all of a sudden.
It's very traumatic for him.
It's also it feels like once you come out of, when you go into a movie and you are very emotionally moved by that movie, or you finish reading a book that you heavily invested in.
You need to discuss it,
and you need to just be like, what the fuck? And you're kind of grieving the fact that you finished this book.
And then you come out and you realize that you'll never live in Pandora.
Yeah, exactly. No, I have literal books that I feel this way about, and you wish that you never finished the book and that it never ended and that you want to keep it going. This is the plot of Misery, right?
This is exactly what I feel like for Heat 2. I just read
every
Heat
time
2.
you watch Heat.
Yeah.
No. Exactly. I read Heat 2.
Oh, every time you read Heat 2, you're like,
oof, I'm like, I want to rob a bank.
Exactly. So it's like you feel like you just want it to keep going. You have to tell somebody, you have to share your emotions about it. So it would have been nice to see that. But I love this episode because it tackles some of the biggest themes about being human, which is especially human in this lifetime, which is we're dealing with climate change. We're dealing with these very large nuclear warfare. We're dealing with these very horrible issues.
The original point of the episode actually was supposed to be a war allegory. So the impending doom was originally supposed to be that they keep firing nukes at each other at different countries, and it's causing essentially a nuclear winter. And that's what's
and also I was reading too that there's an aspect of historical storytelling and generational. So if you point to things like such as like the Holocaust and keeping the experiences
the
alive.
Original proponent of the script is Jewish. So he said that his inspiration for the way they do the storytelling in the episode is based on how Holocaust survivors pass on their experiences to future generations.
And I think that is so important.
Yeah. The original screenplay, they were kicking around the idea for a very long time, but the original screenplay is by Morgan, I want to say Gendel?
Morgan?
No, it must be Morgan Gendel.
Morgan
I think that's how you that's how you pronounce his name, Morgan Gendel, I believe. And yeah, so that they had a lot of other writers go through it, many of whom were uncredited.
But I mean, that's an aspect, this storytelling, especially about these events that literally change the world and, you know, happen more than we care to really like to admit, honestly. But it's so important, that aspect of storytelling and learning and keeping these voices and things alive. I think that's like the essential part of being human is storytelling. And I think that this episode really gets it right. And then I like this little part of an article that I read, which I'm going to read out loud. It is sometimes difficult to learn about the depressing aspects on the state of our world, and there is a tendency to fall into despair when we are unable to effect the changes we believe are sorely needed. Sometimes it seems easier to live happily in ignorance than to live with the burdens of truth. But as Mary Bohr or whatever says, we must strive to pursue the truth, no matter how painful it may be. We must keep hope alive and work towards a better and more sustainable future. And I think that's really good.
Saying that? Who's saying that?
It's an article online on this episode by this author. Who wrote this? Isaac Yun, a Hong Kong Canadian writer based in Berlin. Wow, that's a very interesting.
Okay. I don't like Canadians.
I sort of again, you had brought up the point before. I think there's a balance between
well, he's saying that we have to pursue truth, and that's the balance, is that, you know, it's going to be difficult, but we have to keep hope alive, and we have to work towards, despite the terrible, terrible things that happen literally by the hour on planet Earth that make you want to be like, you know what, just fucking blow it all up. I'm done.
Here's the thing. It's not hard to be human.
Keep going.
I don't think it's hard to be human. I think it's hard to deal with other humans.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we have to deal with other humans.
Oh,
right?
what? So. Okay, one more technical detail about the episode that really annoyed me. It's not a technical detail. I guess it's a storytelling mechanism. We brought it up. I really don't like whenever they cut back to the ship to the Enterprise.
Yeah, we talked about that before.
I don't want that at all. Imagine how much more impactful it would have been if you, with the audience, stayed in Catan the entire time. So you also get stuck with him.
Yeah,
and that would, I feel like that would.
I love that. And also, this was done in 1992, right? Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
He never said I know kung fu when he got unplugged.
It, to me, also it rings. It hits close to home because, like, I don't know, this climate change, drought, the sun, and like all of this stuff. This is all stuff that, you know, in 1992, I guess, seemed relevant or a threat of some kind worthy enough to write. But it's kind of like our reality, right? Like, you know, the threat of drought, the threat of climate changing, maybe not the sun blowing up. I mean, that's not a now problem, but we are very much dealing with drought and extreme weather. And so to me, this episode, just the fact that it touched on that was just super relevant and interesting to watch how it plays out. So, yeah. And it plays out, they all died. That's how it plays out.
Yeah, that's not for a solution.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Just dies.
The solution is they all died. And this is the best they could do, was send a time capsule up to space, which, you know what, honestly, I hope we do the same, which it sounds like we have.
We already did. We're just waiting now.
It's misrepresentative.
Long after we die, whoever will be able to access our Instagram profiles and our podcast. Hopefully this stays on beyond.
No, this podcast will be long gone.
Hopefully you can hear this podcast long after humans have died. Some alien species is listening to this right now.
I hope Lura from Omicron Persei 8 is listening to us.
Can I be honest? I hope an alien.
Why does the larger podcaster simply not eat the other three?
Yeah.
I want an alien to find this and go, I wish fucking Apple was still a thing, because I would rate this a fucking half a star. It fucking they went all over the place.
I would like to have experienced this Apple Watch.
Yeah.
They say listening on their new Neo Zune.
I would only give this a half a star rating. It was a really long episode. It went a lot of places. They could have trimmed 45 minutes off of the fucking episode.
They talked about kids a lot. I mean, it is cool. I mean, this podcast is going to live on beyond us, right? Long after we die.
I hope not.
Why would you say it? That's not a guarantee at all.
I mean, it's likely it's going into the digital internet space that'll live on beyond me.
It's definitely it's more of a possibility now than it ever was before.
Yeah, I think
when the grid goes down, doesn't do me nothing.
I have a hard copy.
When Y2K finally happens, it's all gone.
Y2K happens the year 2052.
I'll just take a moment to reiterate my score. I gave it a 7, and that's because I like the idea way more than the execution, because I feel like I've already seen this idea executed better.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to give it a 6 to piss somebody off.
Wait, I'm curious. Where better? Where do you have some examples?
The examples I named earlier in the episode for the man who has everything, JLU. That's a great example. Adventure Time,
I'm not
also a great example. These are examples that, or like Adventure Time in particular, does what you wanted, Marvin. That shows you just a continuous lifetime without ever going back to where you started until the very end.
Yeah, and
I like that. I wish they did that.
Even the Outer Wilds that we talked about, it is a version of this. But
I'm not play yourself.
I like the Rick and Morty one too. The one where he makes the machine where he can go back, the save thing, where he could go back to the save space.
The version I remember is it was just like a game at Blips and Shits, wasn't it? It was just an arcade machine. You plug in and you live the life of whoever that was.
Oh.
And you have to your score is how long you manage to live your life as that guy.
Oh,
okay.
Well,
it's just a throwaway gag, but they did it.
That was The Inner Light, everybody. One of the most famous episodes of TNG of all time.
Love it.
I didn't say
for
that
good
last
reason.
episode.
I will acknowledge that this was definitely in its time, definitely fucking mind.
Oh yeah, it blew everybody's minds. Everyone loved this episode.
Really great episode.
And Patrick Stewart has gone on record at saying that out of his entire tenure with Star Trek, this was his most difficult episode.
I always wanted to look just like Miracle Max.
He found it very difficult.
It's an interesting role for him to play as a character. I think as an actor, it would be pretty high up there. I think it's pretty good.
Yep. But yeah, if you guys like our discussion of the episode, maybe you could, if you're listening to this on YouTube, or go to our YouTube channel and join the channel. It gets you early access to new episodes, but also on top of that, you get ad-free versions of new episodes. And we're going to try to add other things. The most quickly forthcoming thing that we should really try to get together is the Discord. But we might be doing some other things. Might be doing some streaming, maybe some other bonus things.
You want to get on this OnlyFans thing that we got going.
We'll see. We'll see what's out there. We'll see what's out there for you to get. But also, if you guys ever want to send us an email, you can always email us at contact@newbiestartrek.com. That's contact@newbiestartrek.com, and you could send us a lovely email like Holly just did here. Holly says, "Hi, newbies. Fan from Ireland here. I just wanted to email and say I love your podcast. I found it recently and have been binge listening to it. I think that I have my partner's head wrecked playing it in my apartment 24/7. Listening has inspired me to check out Picard Season 3, which I hadn't gotten around to yet, and watching that with the view that Beverly is a murderous psychopath was infinitely more entertaining than it possibly could have been without. So thank you so much for that." So I think I know why, because there's a scene in Picard Season 3 where Beverly is shooting guns.
Oh, amazing. Fantastic.
I'm a longtime Star Trek fan, and maybe because he's one of our own, but I love Miles O'Brien and Colm Meaney so much. Although I agree he's a much better character in DS9, my favorite Colm fact is he got away with shouting bollocks on DS9 because American censors don't know what that word means.
Nice. I love it.
That's true.
We had the street art movement in Dublin a few years back where a bunch of local artists painted public electricity boxes all over the city. And I thought ye might appreciate this one in honor of the man himself, which I put in our chat.
Now, was it Dublin or was it Dublin?
It's probably Dublin. It's pretty close to where I live.
This is amazing. You have to post this.
And it always makes me laugh when I drive by. For context, there's a popular type of chips here called meanies. I'm not sure if they're a thing in the States.
No, they're definitely not.
It looks amazing though.
So.
It looks really good though, but it's not.
It looks like if a hot Cheeto became anthropomorphized.
Also, there's like there's some kind of devil mite looking thing on it.
That's what I mean.
I love this brand. The name of like the brand.
Tato's?
Tato.
Yeah.
Like what's better than Tato as a brand of chips?
And it's like a potato looking thing wearing a top hat.
It's a potato wearing a suit.
Oh my God.
This chip is a pickled onion flavored.
I like that.
Wow, that sounds good.
Yeah, I will
see this. What's this person's name?
Oh, Holly.
Holly. I'm into chips from other countries, and these look good. One of my favorite ones are the prawns flavored chips from
shrimp chips
from the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, shrimp chips are also a thing in Asia as well. I love shrimp chips.
I love ketchup chips from Canada.
Those are good too. Yeah.
Dill pickle chips. I think that's mainly in Canada, but I think they have them
everywhere.
here.
Yeah.
Do they have them here? I don't see them that much,
you
but
guys
I love them.
stole it from us because we're the best.
No, ketchup
So
chips is
good.
uniquely Canadian.
I love ketchup. The dill pickle
pickle.
chips.
Yeah.
Oh, dill pickle is definitely an America thing.
Yeah, I love dill pickle chips, but ketchup chips. That's
her
my
letter
thing.
does continue.
Sorry.
My love for Mr. Meanie being said,
princess.
I feel like I gotta tell ye, column is pronounced like column. It rhymes with Gollum, which is Ricardo's favorite thing.
So column.
I hate Lord of the Rings.
Feel free
How have
to
we
tell
been
me.
saying it? Column.
Well, the very first time I said it, I did say colm, and then later someone did correct me and say it is pronounced column.
Yeah, so keep in mind that those who are binging us recently are hearing our mistakes for the first time.
Yes,
dude.
So column.
Anyway, just wanted to say, love the show. None of my friends are into Trek, so just hearing a bunch of pals have the crake, I don't know what that means, and enjoy the stupidity and awesomeness of Trek is really, really nice. I love listening to all of your ideas and takes and mad tangents. Thanks a mil, Holly. P.S. Please tell Sarah her voice is lovely.
Oh my
Holly. Oh my gosh.
Fantastic.
My heart is going to explode. I love you, Holly.
Thanks, Holly, for that
And
letter.
I love it. So this is like a painting of like a power box or something?
Yeah, you know how like different cities, like even our city,
we do that too.
They you can just sign up on a list to paint your power box.
Oh my God, I wish somebody would do something like this. This is incredible.
Yeah, so that's fun.
That.
Yeah, I will, for people who video podcast, obviously there'll be a picture of us.
We should try to describe it. It's like
a
little, it's like the Meanies chip bag.
We're gonna post it.
We will post it, but it's like the Meanies chip bag, and like it has Column's face, and it says Meanies, and it's like just his face. And like
I do love how much Colum Meaney is like loved in Ireland. Like he's like a hero.
He's a national hero.
Yeah, he's a hero. I really enjoy that.
I wonder. You think Jason Statham is a hero in the UK?
I think so. I mean,
Probably.
I have to believe he is.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what are we doing?
Yeah, he's a national treasure, probably. You know, who'd win in a fight though in their prime?
Versus who?
Colm Meaney
versus Jason Statham?
Yeah.
Well, Jason Statham is a trained martial artist.
Dude.
I'm going with Colm.
Okay. Jason Statham can't use his legs, just fists.
He was a bare knuckle boxer.
Oh, wait. Here's a factor. Is Colm drunk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Drunk.
If Colm is in a bar and he's drunk,
yes, I'm going with him.
He's winning.
I'll go with Colm drunk.
Yeah, as long as he's under the influence.
If it's Colm versus Jason Statham in like a Sherlock Holmes style like fight arena, it's probably Jason Statham though, because he'll discombobulate him.
Yeah, and if they're both drunk, I might still give the edge to Statham. But if Colum's the only one drunk, it's Colum.
Yeah, if Statham is sober, he's not winning. Well, thank you for the letter, Holly, and thank you everybody for listening.
Yeah, thanks, Holly.
Check out fugitiveframes.com. All the stuff we do there, including our side podcast. Would you stay tuned? We have a few episodes. Yeah, 5 episodes already up.
Check it out.
Yeah,
our new podcast.
Next
time on
Newbie Star Trek, Time's Arrow season finale of season 5.
Which means it's just a part 1.
Oh, you don't know that.
Damn.
But
if this isn't exactly like Broken Arrow, like a movie from John Woo, I'm gonna be so upset.
You'll be very satisfied
if it doesn't open on Chow Yun-Fat's face.
Dude.
Yeah,
with a dove flying across his face.
Broken Arrow is with John Travolta, dude. You're confusing these movies, dude.
Same thing.
Chow Yun-fat's basically John Travolta.
We'll see you guys next week. Goodbye, everybody.
Didn't they trade faces that one time?
Oh my God. Like he becomes an Asian face and the other becomes
oh wow. How racist would John Travolta like he's doing that. The
Chinese Oh dear.
I would see that movie.
Actor John Travolta attempting to do Chow Yun-fat because canonically in the story he is Chow Yun-fat with a
just
white
imagine
face.
Battlefield Earth with a Fu Manchu beard instead.
That's Star Trek.
Yeah, he's a Klingon already.
Yeah.
That's just a Klingon. All right. Goodbye, everybody. Next week.
Bye, everyone.
Later.
Stay safe.
May Bagul smite your enemies.